Welcome back to the Delay the Binge podcast. I'm your host, Pam Dwyer, and sometimes we spend years trying to become more successful, more confident, more accomplished, only to realize that what we've really been searching for is ourselves. Today's guest believes that lasting transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about reconnecting with the person you were always meant to be. Joining me today from Melbourne, Australia, y'all, is Debbie Zita. Debbie is an international TEDx speaker, a best-selling author, podcast host of multiple podcasts I just found out, and creator of the Six Selves model of self-inquiry. For more than 25 years, she's blended psychology, social work, business, leadership, and conscious-based practices to help women build lives and businesses that are aligned with who they truly are. She calls it playing bigger and playing beautiful. Debbie, I'm so glad we finally made these time zones work. Welcome to Delay the Binge podcast.
Thank you so much, Pam. You're a pleasure. Oh my goodness, this is a joy for me.
Oh, me too. I'm so excited. Before we talk about all the work and the message and everything, and we go in deep, I would love to begin here. What's bringing you the most joy in this season of your life?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, Pam. Okay, so something has shifted for me in this financial year. So I don't know if we have the same kind of systems here, but July kicks into a new financial year for us. So we're July right now, and I don't know if it's my age, the cycle or chapter I'm in, or the fact that I've just run my first Bali retreat last month, but something shifted within me, and I am calling in my soul tribe, which I've been praying, meditating about for years, and it's actually happening. I have my WhatsApp and not quite yet Instagram, but that's okay. But my WhatsApp is buzzing from networking events and speaking opportunities and people that I'm just connecting with left, right, and center. And now it's, oh my goodness, okay, how do I, manage this new wave of connections? Because it's just something that's quite new for me. But it's so joyful to feel received in the world and to feel like people understand the message and want to be around me and want to be involved. And so that's, how joyful for me and how grateful I am for that.
How wonderful, because all the hard work, you're seeing fruit, Yes. And that's for most creatives, it's so exciting when it all starts to fall into place.
Yes.
Because it was meant to be. I went and listened to one of your very first episodes of your podcast.
Oh, wow.
And there was one sentence I really haven't stopped thinking about.
Yeah.
You said, I realized I was moving away from my authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of women are familiar with that, even if they can't quite explain it.
Yes.
So looking back, how did you know you had drifted away from yourself?
Ooh. Well, it's a tricky one because there's a lot of trauma in my history. And so without going sort of too far into it, there was moments where I literally had a loss of identity and not in a healthy spiritual awakening type of way, but in just like a shock of so many people passing away, so many things happening that were not aligned with who I am. I'm a very kind, very generous person, and I assumed the world operated that way. And unfortunately, as you age and move through life, it just doesn't. There's wolves in sheep's clothing. There's things that we can't explain. And I was very naive to that up until, relatively recently on my journey in my 40s, I really went, WTF, actually, hold up. 1 second, please. You actually have spun this around. And then there was a moment or a few moments where I realized, actually, I'm okay. I'm okay because I'm kind, because I am honest, because I am loyal, because I am integrous, because I am generous. And when you are actually all of those things, even if you make silly decisions or you make mistakes, and I did and we all do, I have God or source or universe backing me.
Yeah.
And so where I drifted from my authenticity was I actually self-abandoned, Pam. I allowed other people sometimes friendships with women, sometimes a partner, a lover, a boyfriend, whatever the title was at the time, to outsource me to them. And then I was looking around going, where am I in this movie of my life? It's the Debbie Zita show. Where the heck is Debbie Zita? Oh, she's back there. She's the extra. She's the wife. She's the mother. She's the business owner. She's the coach. She's the hustler. She's the traumatized woman. She's the lover. She's the vixen. She's the phoenix. Okay, whoa, hold up. Okay. I am none of those things, and I am all of those things. Who I am now is a remarkable woman, and what I say is I'm the strongest woman that I know because I am.
Wow. Oh, that is so powerful and so beautiful, which comes to one of your, I saw another statement says, play bigger and play beautiful.
Yes.
Is this what brought that on? All of those things happening and you realizing it and becoming aware.
Yes. So I know in this lifetime, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, bold claim that I'm about to make it. I'm going to claim it. There are multi-millions, if not billions, in my chart, in my history, in my profile. That is what I'm here to really innovate, disrupt personal development, spirituality, and small business. And for me to claim that now is so wonderful. And along that journey, I've met people who are everything from they've lost their homes, they're literally homeless on the street. I would sit with people in LA and I would sit with them and say, firstly, can I sit beside you? Is that okay? And they would say, yes. And I would say, I just want to find out, sister, how did you get to this point? What happened? What's going on? Right? So those interactions taught me. And then I've sat with people that have had multi-millions, billions of dollars, and I've seen everything from drugs and alcohol and behaviors that we might judge, which I don't judge because I believe you do what you need to at the time to feel good about yourself and to learn something, and that's fine. It's never been my journey. I'm a meditation, energetic, very sensitive soul to energy. So you put me in a room with people who are drinking alcohol and I feel like I'm drinking even if I've had nothing to drink. So I can't take anything, but there's no judgment. Everyone's different, each to their own. I've met those people, and then in more recent years, which is more aligned with who I am, I've met people who operate from a place of deep, divine connection, great service to humanity. They've understood their own energies. They don't take substances, and they're worth millions and billions and doing really good things on the planet. So playing bigger is let's reach your potential, be self-actualized, and also be self-realized, because those are two different things. Realized meaning we are not the diamonds or the Gucci or the Ferrari or the Porsche or the Mercedes. Have all of those things if that's what you would like. Or no brands, but just lots of nice things because you're not designer. I don't mind. And also at the same time, love yourself. Give to yourself. Maybe give to charity. I'm not going to push the charity thing because I think some people get forced into, I have to give to charity. I have to be that person. If your soul wants you to give, you'll give. If your soul wants you to receive more and give back to yourself and your family and your local community, you'll do that. Everyone's soul path is different. So playing bigger, be the best, biggest, most wonderful version of yourself, and beautiful, be kind. Be generous, be loving, be empathetic, be compassionate to others, and especially women, to yourself.
I love that. That's the whole reason of my very first podcast, The Plus One Theory, was all about kindness and it being a superpower and how it helps the giver and the receiver.
Yes.
And it's just, I think that we're losing sight of how important and how big kindness is. And coming from my background, the childhood, we were very poor, very hungry all the time. And I wrote this article once, and it's called Help Hurts. And what that means, coming from the receiver, a lot of times people do donate money or food or clothes, but they never stop to think once about actually, like you just shared with us, you sat down beside them. And you said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Because I sometimes dream about if someone had sat next to my mom, who was a single mom of 7 children, if someone had sat down next to her, took the time to say, okay, you obviously don't know how to handle money.
Yes.
I do. So let me show you how to do this. Instead of just throwing money or food at us because we didn't have our dignity like that. I mean, people that are in that situation, we need our dignity so that we can rise above it and get out of that mess. But if we're constantly just made to feel shame and guilt, we're never going to get out of that situation. So I love what you just shared with us. It's so important.
I thank you so much. And for me, this is not strategy. This is not something I set out to do. It's just I was traveling to LA after one of the very big traumas I experienced. I surrendered myself to God and I said, where do you want to place me? And I was placed to go to LA, intuitively placed. When I say that, my heart was calling me. I had some savings. I was okay in that way. And I went over to, I don't know if you've ever been, but to Paramahansa Yogananda's shrine in LA. So Paramahansa Yogananda was the yogi who brought yoga, the yoga movement. Yoga means union. So now I don't do the poses. I'm not a yoga instructor, just FYI. But I definitely am all for union of energy, union of self, union of humanity. And so I feel very connected to Paramahansa Yogananda. I bought 100 or so copies of his book, Autobiography of a Yogi, and from my own personal money, and I donate them around. I think I gave the last copy 2 days ago to someone who's now a part of my team. I just intuitively, I'm guided. So I went to LA. When I touched down, I said to my now partner, who I met 2 weeks before that, I started crying and I said, I'm home. LA's home for me. And I knew where the shrine was. I said, John, we were driving like a rental car in LA, which is the opposite side of the road. So better that he was driving than me because he's better at driving than me. And I said, go left, go right. I knew and I'm not good with maps. Anyone who knows me, I'm not great with maps, but my heart knew where the shrine was. I saw something and I knew that was the shrine. So that's how I came to be in LA. And what I saw was Beverly Hills. Again, no judgment. I love money. Money's great. But I saw these mansions and I saw these amazing properties and cars and things. And then also I saw the contrast, the homelessness. Yeah. And the thing is, there's something called, which you may or may not know about, or your listeners may or may not know, but the lotto effect, the lottery effect, where you win or you come into a lot of money. But if your consciousness doesn't receive self-love or self-worth, it can't actually hold it or grow that. So it kind of actually repels that. Even if you're kind, even if you're smart, you can be very smart. There are very smart people who have been doctors, lawyers, or whatever you want to call smart is in our society, that have, through adversity and choices and maybe karmic clearing, if you want to use that language, have found themselves in situations that are less than suitable, such as being without a home.
Oh my gosh. It's so true. And I often tell people, a lot of my clients have no sense of identity at all. They're doing all the things they should be doing, checking all the boxes. They're very successful and they're financially set. But inside, they feel empty and lost, and they actually don't feel anything. They don't feel joy, happiness, or anything. And the first thing that I always suggest they do is help someone else.
Yes.
Because if you're going to find out who you really are, you can do that with small steps, small actions. But the first one, if you start helping others, I promise you're going to start getting a sense of self.
Yes, especially if you have access to the resources and you can see what I would call, and what I've been taught in my spiritual journey, is a sibling, because we're all siblings, spiritually speaking. So you see a sibling who's in crisis or struggling, and I believe that we're mirrors to each other. So that individual has come across your path for a reason. If you have the resources in the form of money, and this is something that they need, and Pam, they want to receive, because sometimes they don't want to receive it, which is why I sat down and said, what do you need? I could have given her $100. She's like, no, I'm okay. I said, do you want a coffee? She's, no, I've just eaten. I've just had something hot. Can I sit beside you? Can I sit beside you? And interesting also, Pam, I want to share what she shared, whether this is accurate or not, but she actually shared that she consciously wanted to choose to have the experience of being without a home. It wasn't through necessarily adversity or bad choices as we would perceive or judge in those of us that are plugged into society, into the matrix.
Yeah.
She wanted the experience of what it felt like to be liberated and free. Now, would I do that? personally, no.
Right.
Do I think that there might be some other things going on there that make that life less than desirable? I guess if you want to put me in a system, a woman that's been to university and I've had homes and I've never been on the street.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to understand it, but she was speaking her truth. That was her truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people I am discovering more and more through this podcast, there are people of all financial status. They could have a lot or they don't have much or they don't have anything.
Mhm.
And what I'm seeing is that if they resolve their issues that are causing them to be stuck, if they fix those things, they're afraid of it because they don't know who they are without it. If I fix this thing that I am struggling with, who am I?
Can I share a story, Pam?
Yes.
When I was 27 and pregnant, my beautiful mother was diagnosed with gallbladder cancer, and 21 days later, we buried her.
Oh, God.
If we fast forward, how many years was that? Close to 15 years later, my beautiful friend Nikki in her 40s left 2 children behind and died within a year of lung cancer. Now, my mother was not a consciously spiritual woman. She was very into the matrix of this world. That was just her journey. Beautiful woman, very kind, beautiful mother, great auntie, great friend, great wife. She was a beautiful soul. But she didn't let herself open up to the consciousness of being something spiritual and something loving. She just chose something different. So when she died, we had to cut her engagement ring off her. I've still got it. It's downstairs. I wear it sometimes. I wear it broken even. I haven't had the resources yet because I've put everything into my business and my company, but it's okay. It's changing. But I still have Mum's diamond ring. We had to cut the diamond ring off her finger. What that taught me at 27 and pregnant, you can't take a diamond with you.
No.
Right? Nikki,
Right.
I met through my heart community practice. Nikki had surrendered herself, horrible story, to be in your 40s and leave behind 2 children and a very loving husband who adored her to, I can't even explain how much in love this family was. And she said to me, Debbie, we have to meditate more. We have to pray more. I'm like, Nikki, we already meditate and pray like 6 hours a day. I've got to run a company. I've got to take care of Jonah. She's like, no, we've got 1 year left. I said, well, maybe you have 1 year left, but I don't. She thought the world was crumbling around COVID time. Turns out, Pam, she had 1 year left. Nikki had 1 year left. I have more time. She had 1 year left. When she died, though, I wasn't strong enough to be by her bedside. I said goodbye a few months earlier when I watched her hair fall out and everything else. But I heard from my friends that Nikki died. I've got the goosebumps. Nikki died in the arms of love. Nikki surrendered everything, and she's not only is she in heaven, but she's completely, she is love. She is just in the ether. She just is. The I am Nikki is. So my mother held, no judgment to my mother, but my mother held, didn't surrender, didn't let go, and she'll move on to whatever her soul's journey is in reincarnation and everything else. I'm also a intuitive and psychic medium, so I have many conversations with my mum. Nikki, however, is long gone. She's with God. So here's the contrast, right? It's not what you have. It's how much can you let it move through you. It's like water, flow through you, receive it, give it, enjoy the journey. And then my friends, just let go.
Yes. So, I'm amazed. You are just so confident and positive and sure of your heart and your soul and everything. I'm blown away by that, Debbie. I don't see that a lot. And I've interviewed hundreds of people.
I'm receiving. I have an army of light behind me that I knew it, but I didn't fully believe in myself. But I've had people around me in recent weeks and months tell me, do you know who you are, Debbie Zita? Do you know there's an army of light behind you? And that being received back has given me the confidence to know I'm a leader in this space, in what I do. And I'm about to change the planet 100%, because we need people like me in business and spirituality to make money, to understand the heart. We are craving, the planet is craving for the teachings that I am bringing onto the planet. And I say that with no ego. And if ever there's an ego, God will show me and replace that with humility, believe me. But this is what I'm here to do. This is my mission.
Oh my goodness. And I feel the same way. I've been told my whole life that I have a light.
Yes,
Wow. Like from all types of people from early on. I remember in third grade, let me tell you this, this will mean a lot to you.
please. Yes.
And so when I was in third grade, a friend invited me to spend the night. And that's when I realized that not everyone lives like I do.
Yes.
I thought everyone, and at that age, I thought everyone lived the same life that I had.
Yes.
Filth, dirty, no food, horrible, anger, blah. But I went to her house and it was completely different. I thought it was like Cinderella's castle. But when I put my little bag down, all these roaches scurried out of my bag and they were screaming and stomping them. And that's when I thought, oh, roaches are bad. And I had that's the first time I ever really felt shame about my living situation. And so for some reason, I thought I had to leave. So I started gathering my things. But my friend's mother, her name's Mrs. Kelly, I still strive to be a parent like her,
I'm
a
about
mom
to
like
cry. I don't even know what you're going to say, but my heart's already receiving what's about to be said.
Oh, she took my bag in my hand and took me to the laundry room, put the bag down and knelt down and took my face in her hands like this. And she goes, don't ever let anything on the outside dictate what you have on the inside. She goes, Pam, you have a light. You have such a bright light, sweetheart. And I just can't wait to see what you do with it.
God,
And that's the first time anyone ever validated or saw me or made me feel worthy. That was the first time. And so after that, it just seemed like more and more people, the more aware I became of this light,
yes.
the more people noticed it, I think.
Do you know what's
And
amazing,
so,
Pam? Sorry to cut you off, and thank you for
no.
sharing that beautiful story.
Mhm.
Interesting, because the light in each of us is magnified and reflected back by the light in each other. So we're actually all moving channels of light. And the more that we reflect it here, it's out there and then it comes back. And it's just this beautiful dynamic process, because ultimately, behind everything, behind the titles, behind the soul's journey, we are light.
Mm. I just love that. And
Mm,
I wish
yes,
every
yes,
soul on earth
yes.
would know this and feel it. But I
They
think,
should have a mission for them to know so
yes,
through this conversation, that
yes.
every being has that within them, 100%. It's just how
Mhm.
do we access that?
Yes, because I think a lot of like the playing bigger statement makes me think about a lot of people that think they confuse it with becoming busier,
Yeah.
right? Like adding more to their plate. That's how you become bigger. I think a lot of people believe that. Do you see that a lot too?
I do, and I'm having a moment right now of what it means to actually be bigger, and I think the definition for me, not I don't think I know, the definition for me of playing bigger is actually how much light do you have within you? When you're
Yes.
speaking, when you're showing up, when you smile, is
Mhm.
there a lightness? That's the bigger piece. And yes, it can be the material things as well. And I say that because if you rock up to a board meeting or a meeting with investors and you are wearing an Armani suit and you have this light around you, you'll probably more than likely have some more doors open for you. Unfortunately, it's just how the system works. Than someone
Yes.
who comes from the street and says, I haven't had a shower in 3 weeks. Can I come
Mhm.
to your board meeting? That can happen. I know stories like that too, but they're rare. They're rare.
Yeah.
It's a very special being that can come there without having showered for 3 weeks and get into that office meeting, okay? Most people, there is a social constraint around how we appear and how we speak and everything else. So being able to have access to those rooms, part of that is being able to have access to resources in the form of money. And then we get to play with the external resources in the material world with the resources of our internal self, which is our love and light that we carry and bring onto the planet.
Perfect combination. Perfect. And a lot of people that gain a lot of financial stability, they forget what they've been through. They'll forget everything that they went through to get to that place
Yes.
because they're so, enthralled with the newness of everything that's available to them.
Yes.
I've heard people say it over and over. We forgot. We forgot what it's like to be hungry. One thing.
Go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say one thing that struck me
Yes.
about you is that I don't think your work is about business at all. I think it feels more like identity, helping women, well, and people of all, men and women, remember who they really are. Would you say that's true?
100%, Pam. And
Mhm.
business just happens to be the avenue in this chapter of my life that this is expressed through. But I had the same thing when I was a social worker, when I was working in retail, when I was working as a stylist, whether I'm delivering a keynote to business owners or to mums. I don't mind at all. I have no preference. It just happens to be, again, at this chapter of my life, it's in business. The form can change, no problem.
Yes, definitely. And I just love that so much because, a lot of women are told at a very young age what their place is,
Mhm,
and what the expectations of are.
mhm.
And they work their whole lives to meet those expectations, but they're miserable inside. So it helps to be around someone that knows that has a light that can offer them, help and guidance with, well, not just their spirituality, but their whole self of being who they were always meant to be. Not even anyone knew. I really believe that we're all born with a certain path and a certain job. And whatever that is, if we can't find it, we just need guidance. We need a light to
100%.
follow.
I love what you're sharing, and I'm reminded of I went to a funeral, I think it was a month ago. It was my husband's side, and it was an aunt. And I'm always mindful when I'm sharing stories like this because I'm very protective of family and
Yeah.
friends and not naming names. And if anyone happens to hear from the family that I'm sharing this, I mean no disrespect. However, I was hearing these stories of this beautiful woman who I didn't know very well. I met her a few times and she was very unwell, and there was relief when she transitioned. But there were these stories around, she gave to her family, she gave to her community. I never saw her, give anything to herself, but we're so grateful that she gave to all of us, something along those lines. And I was driving back with my husband and I said to him, I understand what they were saying. And I know this is sort of what we're taught to share at funerals. And I understand that that was seen as a glowing review of this woman's life. But this is interesting, and some people will think I'm mad, and that's fine. But the spirit of the woman was actually hanging in the car with us that whole morning on the way to the funeral. And the sense I got from her was she was not that happy. And then I was confused, going, now I know I have a gift. I know I'm connecting with this spirit. I know it's her. I'm not wrong here. But what I'm hearing in the funeral is this different story. So I'm missing something. What's going on? And then I tuned in with myself. And what I realized was both pieces of information were accurate. She was a great mum, a great wife, a great community leader. She was happy in that way. As a spirit, though, when that woman was like, hey, girlfriend, chat with me, really, she wasn't happy. And I'll tell you why, Pam. She didn't get to live from herself. She was
Yes.
living from the script that the family wanted her to live from what she thought she had to be in this world. Now, you
Mhm.
can still be the mother and the wife and the community leader and give to charity. I'm not saying don't do that. But if you choose, my love, to do that because your soul is requesting that of you, not because your mother, father, sister, brother, husband, daughter, son is telling you to do so. That's the
Or they
difference.
or they need you to do it because
Yes.
that's ingrained in us is to, especially with our children, even as adults, we want to cater to whatever it is they need to
Yes.
make sure they're comfortable and happy and well.
Yes.
But a lot of times I had to finally start asking myself because I didn't know there was a time I didn't know what my favorite color was or my favorite food. Now I could tell you what my kids' favorite colors were
Yeah.
and their food and my husband's, but I had no clue what Pam's favorite color or food was. So then I started asking myself, if no one here was in my life,
Mm-hmm.
what would I go eat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think most mothers can relate to that feeling.
Yeah, it's strong. It's a tough one. And then when the kids are gone and no, none of those people are in your life for whatever reason,
Yeah.
then you're left in the dark.
And that's the identity piece that we were talking about before. It's like, who am I? Who am I when all of this goes? When I am not the mother, I'm not the businesswoman, I'm not any of those things. Who am
Mhm.
I just with myself? Can I sit with myself? Can I be
Yes.
with my thoughts? Can I just sit and be in nature? Can I be in a shopping center and be whatever I need to be in that environment too? Can I just be me? And who am I really? And this is why we haven't spoken about, but this is why I created and developed, well, this was birthed through me, the Six Selves.
Yes, that's my next question. I was going to take us there. Yes, your
Yes.
work centers around the Six Selves, and I don't want you to give the whole framework away, but what inspired you to create it?
My first client came to me about 10 years ago. So she was lost in every life area. She herself lost her mother when she was pregnant, her grandmother soon after. Her grandmother was a war survivor as well. This woman went through divorce and separation and then was co-parenting her neurodivergent child, who will be 18 this year. She went on to have a very unfortunate abusive relationship. He died. 3 friends died of cancer. Together, we worked to create her own framework, write and deliver her TEDx talk, her Amazon bestseller. She's flown to Boston to be on stages with people like Victor Chan, who's the co-founder of the Dalai Lama Center, and Harvard professors. She's reached an incredible amount of revenue in her business, and she feels like she's just getting started. And Pam, there's a secret, because that woman is me.
Wow.
Now, I didn't set out to start a company to make money. I set out to save Debbie, and that was my TEDx. There was a whole decade there of suicidal ideation, if I'm honest. And there was a day where it was about to be worse than that. Not because I'm ungrateful for my life, not because I wanted to hurt anybody, because I was in deep anguish and pain at my journey. I couldn't understand how I could keep giving and be of service to so many people. And then I realized I wasn't being of service to myself. The vessel that carries me, the voice that speaks, the body that digests and processes food and information. I wasn't honoring this. And that's why I call myself the business body guide, because the business is, yes, an expression, but your body, your sales, your marketing, your leadership, your mindset, your heart, your soul, it's all part of why we're here. And business can be anything. It's a community. It's your family. It is your coaching business, your legal practice, your multi-million, billion-dollar, whatever it is. It's all of those things. So how I came through that, how did I actually come to be from that woman that I'm sharing about to this one here? It was that spiritual, emotional, legacy, valued, ecological, sexual. I know who I am spiritually. I'm everything, I'm nothing. My emotions, I do my best. I'm still learning and growing. I'm never perfect. But I try not to react. I respond instead. My legacy, This is my legacy. I'm here to be of upliftment to the planet in this very beautiful, practical way. I value myself. I've generated close to $750,000. I can't bring in those sales if I don't value myself. My ecology, I have to be around people like you, Pam, who love me, see me, value me, share about me, talk about me, connect me. Otherwise, people ignore me, have no idea, think I'm mad, and they used to. Goodbye, I love you. You have no place in my life anymore. Sexual, creative self, my podcasts, my books, my programs, everything has to be created from something. So I walked myself through that process. And this is what I walk through every single client. And I have 10 offers and many programs that I run. Everything is weaved through this framework.
Gosh, I love that. And it's almost simple if you think about it. If you step back and look at it, you're like, okay, I actually hired a coach a little while ago for 6 weeks.
Yes.
Because I couldn't figure out, I was doing all this work and nothing was monetized. It was just all for my heart.
Yes.
But I knew that I had to feed it somehow.
Yes. Yes.
And so my husband says, let's get you a coach. And so she was incredible. She pointed out, she goes, I don't think that you want to move past this. And I thought, you said, yes, I do. I have to if I'm going to continue to do it. And she said, I don't see that in your work, because you're pouring everything into everything that doesn't produce.
Exactly.
And I was just so blown away, because here I am, a coach, advising people. But that's what they say about the shoemaker, right? The shoemaker has the worst looking shoes.
Yes. Or the hairdresser, the worst hair, or the fences painting has the worst. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I learned we're all evolving, right?
Yes,
and that sounds like what you're doing.
Yes.
And the 6 steps will help you evolve into who you're supposed to be, who you're meant to be.
100%.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Thank you.
I have a story about, it's called The Hidden Mountain. It's been told in many other ways, but it's all about climbing the mountain of life, and you get to the summit and you're like, oh, is this it?
Yes.
This is what I've been working for. But then you look to the right and there's another mountain
Yes.
that was hidden by the mountain you were climbing.
Yes.
And so we're in this constant state of evolving and finding the next mountain that we're meant to climb. So, but I'm a firm believer in that.
I am too. And I'm also, I often feel like I'm suspended on the mountain. I'm sort of, I'm climbing up it because I always feel like there's another one. And I often will say, you know, God, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I just want to get to the mountaintop. And then I had this epiphany of, hang back and enjoy it. I mean, it's the old, you know, adage of, you know, enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination, but it's the truth, because then ultimately, you know, we leave this body behind at some point. There's a moment in time we take our last breath, and there are only so, you know, few amounts of mountaintops that we're going to have, whether that's one or whether it's 100 in your life, if you happen to have the different milestones. But what about all those different, that one and that next one and that next climb and that next climb? That's the real juice.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
or connection to me. Let's be happy in all of those ones. And I'm saying this for myself too, because believe me, I can complain and be impatient and want things to happen now and just want to land. Let's land.
Let's land.
I might be doing this for a long time, so I may as well enjoy it, Pam.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
One thing we talk about often on this podcast, and I'm so excited to talk to you about this
Yes.
because I really want your take on it,
Yes.
is the pause before the reaction.
Yeah.
And you speak about noticing your own triggers
Yes.
and choosing compassion
Yes.
instead. So what have you learned about that tiny space between what happens and how we respond, that moment?
Great question. So is the question about me personally and how I respond internally?
Yeah, I would love to hear that. And then we can hear how you help others.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It's actually one and the same thing, because if we look at psychology, there's the inner critic, or what I call the best friend. So when you're connected to the inner critic, that's where you go into anxiety, overwhelm, suicidal ideation, and worse if we can't get a handle on things. When we move into the inner best friend, we're going into pause, respond, breathe, love yourself. Right? If you had a best friend, and I also want to preface this with a good and a great best friend, because we've all had those friends where we think, well, that's my best friend, but she's the one to tell you, you've put on some weight, or your knees look funny, or that doesn't quite suit you. Well, that's not the kind of best friend that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the best friend that is like, I love you, girl. Like, you look a bit tired today. Like, let's give you, do you want a cup of tea? Are you okay? What outfit are you wearing tonight? You look sexy. You look hot. I love you. Go for it. You've got a meeting. I am praying for you. I love you. Let's rise together. That's the kind of best friend that I'm talking about. So when you can be that for yourself, that is when you have that moment of pause to go, oh my goodness, I've done something wrong, or something's gone a bit pear-shaped here. Oh my God, I effed up. I did this. Wait, no, I didn't. I'm human, and I said something and it landed some certain way, and I don't even know, and maybe that's not even what they're thinking, even if I'm intuitive and I think I know. I don't really know. Breathe. It's fine. I love myself. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then I do the Ho'oponopono prayer. Do you know about the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't know it.
So there was a doctor who was utilizing this prayer. I don't remember the year. This is a long while ago now, but it worked, where he would connect in with psychiatric patients in Hawaii, and he would say 4 statements. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. That is the only therapy that he did. He didn't even go into the clinic. He would just read the patient's files and say these 4 statements. Every single one of those patients was healed through those 4 statements. The Ho'oponopono prayer is now widely used by coaches, mentors, therapists, clinicians, because it works. I was reminded of it over a decade ago, and it wasn't until about a week ago that another dear friend reminded me again that I've really dropped into what it actually means. I was saying it as lip service. I love you. I'm sorry. This last week or so, I've really been going, no, I really love you. Pam, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Debbie, to myself, because everything that you are showing me exists within myself. There's a reason why this interaction has come about. And now, Pam, our interaction is very pleasant, but you and I both know we have interactions. Clients don't show up. People don't pay you. An ex-boyfriend bumps into you with his beautiful wife who looks like a Hollywood movie star. All these things that happen. Why are these things happening to me? I don't know, but I'm going to clean. I'm going to clean with, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. So it heals in you, it heals in me, and it also heals every other person on the planet who is going through that same or similar challenge. So that is what I do. Pause. I love you, girl. I love you. I love you. And then I say those 4 statements.
I love that so much because everyone always asks me, okay, I'm going to pause, Pam, before I do this unhealthy pattern or behavior.
Yes.
This thing, and I just don't know what to do. What do I pause with?
Yes. Pause with
and now I can.
Now you have a tool. Yeah.
Now I have a tool, an additional tool.
Yes.
That would be great.
So you have many tools already. You're a coach yourself. So you would have a whole library of resources that you're using as well.
But I love that for yourself because I had to learn how to forgive myself because I had so much shame and guilt once I learned how to forgive. And someone challenged me. They said, you've really forgiven someone when you wish good things to happen to them or for them.
Yes.
That's how you know you've truly forgiven someone. I thought, wow, that called me out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I don't always have that. I sometimes have those darker thoughts. I'm very transparent and I'm a leader, I'm a teacher, but I'm human and I have my shadow parts too. And that can be challenging.
Well, and quite frankly, your message is just in time because I'm seeing more and more our society, our world, they're loving to hate right now.
Yes.
Hate is taking over.
Yes.
And that's not how we're designed. I mean, there's a reason it feels good when we do good.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason we feel bad or guilty when we do not good.
It's tricky because you know what? There's also a nuance and a layer and a piece here, which is I love you and I love and light to all beings, yes. But don't get me wrong, Pam, I'm fierce and I teach my clients to be fierce and powerful because there is hate on the planet and there are bad things that happen, even if everything happens for a reason and everything's part of the grand plan. Yes, okay. And also I have a child to feed and you have a family and they have a family and they need to go to school and feel safe and you need to go to work and we have a society that we live in. And in my humble opinion, the only way that we can actually really bring love and light to the planet is through social change. Now, I'm all about honoring the silos, religion, industry, even classes if you want to, although that is an old system. But what I'm more about is also dissolving those silos so we can come together as a collective humanity and go, my brothers, my sisters, WTF, what is going on? And how do we change this together? And we do that through fierce. We have to be fierce. Now, I am not someone that you'll never see me advocating or going to a rally or something like that at the moment. It's not for my soul. But I'm around a lot of people where I say, if you feel to do that, if it's your role to be an activist on Instagram or in the city that you're living in, please go and do that. That is what you're supposed to be doing. Speak it out. Say no. Say hell no. Say heck no. This is not happening. This is what I am saying to do instead. Who do I need to speak to? What do we need to do to make change happen? We cannot be passive on the planet. Love and light and passivity is not where it's at in 2026. No.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, you even said on your TEDx talk, I remember you said, I stopped seeking balance and I started seeking wholeness.
Yes.
Right. And balance and boundaries are very difficult for most people, especially women.
Because we're taught usually to live in a hierarchy that is often, I'm like, dare I say this or not, but there's the patriarchal system of this is how things should be done. This is how you're taught to be a generous woman. Now, I'm not going into man hating or anything like that. I truly believe love and light for every being, and I am the mother to a son. Yes. So I want to see that our sons and our nephews and our brothers are loved and feel whole and feel seen as well. And I've got a lot of friends and colleagues that run men's circles and allow the guys to swear and be primal and do what men need to do. It's how they're wired to be. Do all of that there in that safe, controlled environment so that you don't do it in our society, so that we as women can go out on the train or in Uber and go, I feel safe. Because I'll tell you, a lot of us don't feel safe for very good reason. 1 in 4, 1 in 5 women go through trauma from childhood through to adulthood. That is unacceptable, brothers and sisters, and it needs to change right now. And it changes by you speaking up and saying, that is not okay. Don't speak about that woman that way. Don't talk about your sister, your wife that way. Stop it. There's consequences if you keep doing that. I know I may have opened a can of worms, but that's okay.
No. I saw this video once of this man who is so wise about raising their sons to become the men the world needs.
Yes.
And he said, there's only one thing you need to remember. When they're born, when a baby's born and it's a boy, they have 2 dogs, 2 puppies, and that is anger and lust. Yes. And so if you raise these boys to learn how to hold their dogs in and control them, then they'll be the greatest man on the earth. But if you don't teach them how to rein those 2 dogs in, because that's what they are.
They are. And I'm going to say something slightly controversial here, which is having worked with thousands of women across the planet, women have those 2 dogs too. They're just not socially.
I think we have more than 2 dogs.
We have many. But right, it's okay for the guys to be angry and lustful and everything else. But you talk about a woman who is horny or is angry. Hush, hush now. Hush, hush. She'll never get married. Why not? That's part of what's in her as well. It's just that perhaps we know how to circumnavigate or utilize the energy in a different way. And some women don't know how. They've also made choices that are less than favorable. We're all learning. So I see it in a different way, but I know it's a primal operating system.
It is. It just made me think the same thing that you're saying, that we all have these things, these pups that we're born with.
Yeah. And
that we need to control.
Yeah.
But a lot of times trying to control something that we're born with is what is causing the brokenness. We're trying to be something else that we're not.
I don't know that we need to control it, Pam. I think what we're perhaps invited to do is to play with that energy. You know, it's like and what I mean by play with that is allow yourself to feel, whether that's lust, whether that's anger, whether that's joy, because some people also can't feel joy either, right? Because
I know.
And it's blocked and there's a shield there. What if we actually allowed ourselves to feel pleasure, to feel anger, to feel joyful through our own bodies, which a lot of people don't know how to do because they're so disconnected from their bodies.
Yes.
And then if we can actually do that, that is the step, I believe, before we can have the conversations around social change. Because if you yourself aren't living by that, you can't lead other people to do that either.
No. And I wrote down right here when I was watching your video, you said, I stopped trying to fix myself and began to meet myself.
Yeah, I met my lustful parts. I have lust. I have anger. I have rage. Believe me. Yes. Look at this here. I'm a wild woman. But I'm also loving and compassionate and empathetic and giving and generous and all those things and sweet and soft. And I'm all of those things. And so are you, Pam. And so are you, whoever, and everyone else watching and listening. We all have those parts. Why are we hiding from them? Like, what's the secret? Like, we're all human, right?
It is what it is. That's what it is. That's one of my favorite things.
Parts. Welcome them in. Let's all have a party here and then go, okay, and now what? Let's dance. Let's be happy and let's change some things on the planet while we're here.
Wow. Listening to you, I keep thinking about my mantra, which is my book. That's the mantra of the book, the lesson. It's your past doesn't define you.
Yes.
It prepares you.
Yes.
And if you've had a traumatic past or whatever's happened to you that is you consider horrible, use that for fuel, for energy to move yourself forward and do what you were meant to do. Use it like fuel, your past.
Amen.
But a lot of people have trouble with that. Their past keeps them in shame and guilt and fear.
A lot of them have been stuck in a loop.
Yes.
That's the behavioral pattern or the loop that they get stuck in. And then we keep repeating that until we've let go of that loop and we can create something different.
Yes. And we're not asking women to become someone different, but we're inviting them to come home to themselves.
Oh.
I just love your whole message. I'm going to listen to all of your podcasts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope this all connects to you and I'm reading it properly, but I know my listeners are getting so much out of this because you're just validifying everything that we try to accomplish for people that are listening.
Thank you. It's my privilege. It's such a privilege to be breathing and in this body and no medication. I came off all antidepressants and medications from numbing everything I'd been through, and I allow myself to feel. And I went back into therapy, and I want to invite women who are going through, and the guys too, who are going through that crossroads, a divorce, you've lost your job, you've lost your business, there's a health scare. All of these things, they're actually invitations or facilities for you to turn to a deeper place in your heart and in your soul. And Pam, I also want to offer, I run a session that I've been running for almost 6 years straight. It runs on a 9 o'clock Melbourne, Australia time, 9 till 9:30. It's called Monday Meditation and Prioritization. It's 15 minutes of heart coherence meditation based on a theme of one of the selves each week, each month, and then 15 minutes of prioritization. So what are your aims and your goals for the day, for the week, for the month? And there's a reason it's been running for nearly 6 years every single week, and it's reached women in 7 countries. So I would love to gift an invitation. I'm also happy to welcome the guys in too, but I just have to be mindful that the women in the group feel very, very safe. So I will have to just chat and make sure it's the right fit for anyone. But Monday meditation, please, can I gift you that for anyone who's listening? One session on me as a gift. I'm also looking at running it at 12 o'clock because I've had interest from people who can't make the 9 o'clock. It is tricky with the time zone in the States. I know it is. But if you're on my list, you will also get the recording to watch in your own time. Also, Pam, I would love to gift you 30 minutes with me because I feel to do so. And I've got another podcast coming out, which is called The Breakthrough Room. And I would love to have you on as a guest.
I would love that. That would be incredible. And thank you. That is so kind. That is very kind of you. And I will take it because I am like, I'll glean any information, anything I can to try and be stronger and better to help more people. That's all I want to do, is just get this message out of kindness and love and acceptance.
Can I ask you, Pam, when I say I've had a download, I know that you know what I mean when I say I've had a download. I had a download that I'll be running a summit-style event in New York, Manhattan.
Oh.
I have been to New York a number of times. I do love New York. I obviously also love LA. For some reason, I feel guided by spirit to run something in New York, Manhattan, and I feel guided to share with you and your audience. It's actually been quite private. I've shared with a couple of colleagues, but I'm asked to share with you. If there's any expressions of interest for people, please reach out to me. Instagram is the best place. It's Deb_Zita with an I, DEB_ZITA. Follow me, send me a message. There's no pressure. I always curate spaces with the right aligned souls, and somehow it always works. The right people are in the room. So if that's calling to anyone, please, we do magic when we're together. So just, reach out.
It's a village. It takes a village. Yes. It really does. No matter where in the world you are.
100%.
It really does. And everyone, I will have all of that in the show notes. Please know this. But if you are wanting immediate, I'll give you the information, through my next newsletter. So y'all better sign up and be on the newsletter.
It's Hampton. Yes.
Yeah. If someone, this is my last question for you, and it's a good one. I think everyone would appreciate it. If someone listening has no idea what coming home to themselves even feels like anymore, where would you encourage them to begin?
Oh, it's such a good question. I think I'm going to move to just 2 things. One is mindfulness, because when we're mindful, we're aware of our surroundings and also aware of ourselves. And that might not be comfortable, but that's okay. Sometimes when you haven't been home to yourself, it's almost like you go into think of it like a real home where you walk into this like old, dusty, there's cobwebs, there's boxes, and you're like, I don't want to go in there. I'm going to close the door. Please go inside. Go inside, sit down, clear up the cobwebs, hire a cleaner if you need to, like make it easy, make a cup of tea, just sit down in that space. Yeah. Let the space commune with you and share with you what she or he needs. Let the space heal you. Cry, scream, dance, feel. So mindfulness is that piece. And alongside that, one of the pieces that saved me was the heart practice. And this is why I run the meditation community for so many years, which is, I guess, part of my business, but also in some ways it's separate from it too. Because when I touch my heart, and we can do this now, it could be a nice place to end on. If we feel our feet on the ground and take a gentle, deep breath, breathing in through the nose, feeling the stomach expand as you do so. Slight pause as you exhale out through the mouth, just letting everything go. Touching your heart center, which is right at the center of your chest. As we smile sweetly, freely, more completely, more continuously, to our beautiful hearts until there is only peace, love, and joy, following any feelings of lightness and expansion, smiling sweetly and freely to all parts of you, all parts of me, every member of your family and community, smiling sweetly, freely to everyone in your city, your state, your country, including you, including all parts of you. And finally, smiling sweetly and freely to every being, everywhere in all of existence, so that every being can feel peace. Every being can feel love. Every being can feel joy, including you, including all parts of you. Feeling your feet on the ground, taking a gentle deep breath, letting it go, including the practice, wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes, opening your beautiful eyes. Take a moment to calibrate, because that's 5D consciousness, love and light, living, compassionate, heart space. This is what we've all been looking for in religion and spirituality and the books. This is it. It's here.
Thank you, Debbie. This is the moment, everyone. I hope all of you had your hands on your heart and just took a moment to listen to Debbie and follow her instructions and just feel, just be. So one thing I will carry with me from today's conversation, I always share this, Debbie, with my listeners, is that this is a reminder that growth isn't always about becoming more. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's about remembering who we've been all along. Yes. And if any of this helped you see yourself a little differently today, I would love for you to spend a little time with this question. Who am I becoming? Not because someone else expects it, and because it's who you were always meant to be. And remember, you don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to start over every time you stumble. Give yourself a little grace and pick up right where you left off. Don't start over. And keep building on the momentum you've already created. Because who you're becoming isn't found by starting over. It's revealed every time you choose to keep going right where you are. Until next time, I'll see you all next week. Thanks again, Debbie, so much.
Thank you. My absolute privilege. Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's me, Pam. And before we go, just a quick reminder. Everything we share here is meant to encourage, educate, and get you thinking. But it's not a substitute for professional mental health, medical, legal, financial, or any other licensed advice. I'm simply someone who's walking through life, learning right alongside you. And I'm grateful we get to learn together. Always seek the guidance of a qualified professional for your unique situation. Thanks for spending this time with us. Until next time, remember, sometimes the biggest change begins with one small pause. I'll see you on the next episode of Delay the Binge.